Did you hear my chicken? Hi everybody, I'm Lisa with Lisa Cape and Quilts, and today we are doing clue number 4 of the Sundae Stars Mystery Quilt with guest appearances by chickens right outside my studio. So just a disclaimer, in today's video you might hear chicken noise, and you also might hear the heater in the background. It's been coming on. It's a little bit chillier in here today. Can you hear that? I don't know if the microphone's picking that up or not. Clue number 4. There's two PDFs down in the description box. The first one is your instructions and your templates for pre-cutting your pieces for paper piecing, right, from your fabrics. The second PDF is your paper foundations. Now, if you're using a special paper, what do they want? They're right outside, like staring at me. If you're using like a newsprint or some other kind of special paper for your paper piecing, then switch over to that when you print the second PDF. That's all of your paper foundations, right? And we're going to take a look at that here in just a second. Now those chickens have me all kinds of sidetrack. I wanted to show you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this video or not. This is like my 5th take on this video, y'all. I'm going to show you the PDFs here in just a second. And we're going to go through that. I'm also going to try and include a little baby chicken update towards the end of today's video as well. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I probably am. Let's go down to the pressing board. Again, I've tried to shoot this like 5 times, and I've just been distracted each and every time I mess up. So this is your instructions and your templates, right, to cut your pieces from strips, which helps us get the most usage out of our yardage, right? So this week we're working with 3 of the colors for our quilt. We're going to have our background color, which for me is like a white with a really light cream print. It's hard to see. Then we're going to be using the dark pink fabric, right? I'm using 2 different pinks, a light pink and a dark pink. I call them my star fabrics. This week we're using the dark pink. And then this one down here might look dark red or dark pink on the printout or on the screen, but it's actually the brown. And we're going to be using that. And that's like an accent and sashing color, right? So those are the 3 fabrics we're working from today. The background fabric, we're going to be using the F template, which is this one here. You need 24 of these pieces. So you'll cut 2 strips that are 2 1/4 inches wide. From those 2 strips, you'll cut your 24 pieces. From the dark pink fabric, you're using the E template. You only need 12 of these pieces, so for most of you, 1 strip will work. And for that 1 strip, you're going to cut that at 2 3/4 inches wide. And from your brown fabric, we're using the D template, which is square, and that you'll cut 2 2.5 inch wide strips, and you're going to cut 24 pieces, right? There were 2 of these. I think the background and the brown fabric, you're going to have leftovers, right? Just save them. Just save all of your leftovers as we go along. So there's your templates. That is the first PDF, right? The second PDF is actually your paper foundations. It's going to look just like this. And the first thing I want to show you, depending on what you're printing on, right, it might be easier or harder to see. The D templates, we're using the brown fabric. This is a tonal difference between this piece in the middle, your E placement. That's where your dark pink will be. If your printout doesn't really distinctively show that, like on this paper in person, I kind of see the difference. Now on my newsprint, I see it even a little bit more, But if just using the D and E and the F from your templates is confusing, you might want to write in the different places, right? Brown, dark pink, brown. Okay? Your brown, dark pink, and of course your background colors. Let's give you some measurements because some of you like to have this in addition to the 1-inch print box, right? From the outside edge here to the outside edge here, this unit will measure 6.5 inches. And from the outside line here to the outside line here is exactly 2 inches. Okay, now you're going to print this 1-page PDF 4 times. There's 3 units on each page. That's going to give you a total of 12 units all together that we're doing this week. Now, I am so happy that everybody is sharing all of their progress over on the Creative Crew. If you have not yet joined the Creative Crew and you're making this quilt, or just even if you're not and you haven't joined, you might want to do that. Y'all, it's a free group. The link to join is down in the description box. Y'all are sharing your progress photos. We get to see the colors of fabric you're using, and some of you are reaching out for help. I think that's awesome. You're getting pretty quick help when you need it, and you're sharing all kinds of good tips and advice, and I love that. After last week's video, and I forget which day, and I was just trying to remember, I forget which day it was, but Miss Betty over on Creative Crew shared the most fabulous tip, and I'm going to pass that along with you. Now, I wish I would have seen the tip before I made last week's video, because I think it might have saved everybody a lot of time, but some of you saw it before you started the clue, and you implicated this great idea. But it was so good, and I asked if I could share it in this week's video. So, what she did, right, here's my 4 pages of newsprint. Now, you might want to just double check that they all printed exactly the same. You know how sometimes paper will feed in a piece funny, and so it's actually printed on the page a little sideways or lopsided, right? Just making sure that they all printed exactly right and they're all lined up. She took all of her pages and lined them up just like this, and she took a stapler and she stapled her groups of units like this, right? And it doesn't really even so much matter where you staple them. She stapled all of her units, right? And then she cut out the units with them all being anchored to one another. So let me switch you over to this cutting board because I think I'll have a little bit more space. And let me grab my little cutting rotary cutter. There we go. I thought I already had that out. And let me fix this camera. There, I think that's a little better. So she anchored each one of her foundations, right? All 4 pages are anchored together. And then either with scissors or a rotary cutter that you use for paper, right? All you really have to do is then cut out the units on the first page. Now, 12 units, cutting them out individually, would go by pretty quick, right? But last week we had 48 units. And I know that down the road there are going to be times when we have that many clues to do in that week's time. So how brilliant was this, right? Now look at that. Just with those little cuts, I have cut out all of my 12 units. Now you'll notice that I did not cut them out directly on the line, and that's okay because I have allowed extra fabric in the templates when we're cutting out our pieces to accommodate just cutting right outside this line. And when we've pieced all of the pieces for each unit, we're going to go back and square up these units anyway, trimming away all the extra. So allowing just a little bit of space outside that line is perfectly fine, right? So there's my 12 units, and they're staying grouped together until I can get to them, right? Let me get rid of that. And when I'm ready to start with my units, I just take one of my staple removers and just pull that staple right on out of there. And there's my 4 pieces, right? Just like that. And these stay grouped together, so I'm not losing units and having to reprint. And I can just save those until we get to them. Wasn't that a great little tip? There we go. All right, who's ready to start piecing one of these units for clue number 4? Let's come on over to my light pad and let's get these fabrics ready. Okay, here we are at my light pad, and we have one foundation that we're going to do together. My goal is to walk you through this one. They're all exactly the same this week, and get you in your sewing space as quickly as possible. Minus a little bit of chit chat here and there. So let's take a look at this unit, right? On this one, I have numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the order in which I'm going to add my pieces. You could, if you wanted to, start right in the middle and treat that as number 1 and then work your way out on both sides. You could absolutely do it that way as well. Okay, but I'm just going to start on the end here. Remember, we have brown background, dark pink background, and brown fabric, right? And I have all of my pieces right in this little container here. Last week I used the wrong pieces. It worked, but it just barely did. But this week I think it's going to be simple because they're different colors, right? So let's see. Let's go ahead and grab out our fabrics for this one unit. We have 2 brown squares. We have 1 E piece, the dark pink. And we have 2 F fabrics, which is our background. The chickens have moved elsewhere in the yard, so I think it might be quiet for a little bit. And let's go ahead and move that out of the way. All right, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and flip this right on over so that the right side of the foundation is facing down. So that means now we're working over here to this way, right? So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue. If I can get that lid off. A little bit of glue right in position number 1. That first fabric we are placing with the right side facing up, and it's going to overlap all of the outside edges of that first placement, right? And I'm going to finger press that right in place. Now the great thing about using the light pad is I have not pre-folded to see all of my placement lines, but I can quickly flip it over and see the shadow from that brown fabric exceeds that first sewing line and goes over at least 1/4 of an inch, right? And it also goes beyond that outside line right there. So we're good. Now the second fabric we're adding is one of the F templates, which is a background color. Now I'm going to just fold that brown fabric up, and I want you to pay attention to the placement of this triangle because it's really easy to sew it on the wrong direction, right? The long side of the triangle is going diagonal just like this. So let's go ahead and place it with the long side of the triangle like this, right? That's how it's going to be arranged. The right side's facing up right now. We're going to flip it right on over and line it up just like that. Okay? Now we're going to bring this over to the sewing machine, and I think, so I don't have to keep switching back and forth, I'm going to pull up this camera and I'm hoping you can see really well. Let me see if I can zoom in on that pressing board a little bit. Okay, I think that's a little better. A little bit. I've zoomed in as much as I can. All right, let's come on over to the sewing machine. And again, I'm just pinching these pieces in place, right? And we're going to come on over. I have my stitch length set at a 1.2 today. And we're going to just bring this right on in. We're going to be sewing on this first line. Wow, that's really bright. Let me see if I can turn off this light. Okay, that's a lot better. I feel like my video is all over the place today with all kinds of snafus. Okay, we're going to be sewing on that first line, right? From the paper edge to the paper edge. Okie dokie. Let me get my little clips and let's come back over here. My first string is always a long one. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trim away any of this extra fabric, leaving just 1/4 of an inch. So let's flip it over and fold back that paper foundation. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't bring my fabric rotary cutter. So let's just use this one. That's the one I usually use for paper. We've trimmed away, leaving that 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to add just a smidgen of glue in position number 2, and we're flipping over that fabric right there. Now I'm just going to take my fingernail and just give that seam a good little press and press in that fabric to that glue. Our third position is position E, or template E, which is our dark pink fabric, right? So we have that, and that is going to have the long side of the triangle right at the bottom. So it's going to be situated just like that. So we're going to flip this right side over. Now remember, we have fabric that extends beyond that cutting line a good little bit, right? So when we place this fabric, we can actually come in just a little bit like that. See that? And if you want to double check it with the light pad, you can lay it down. Now I don't have my light pad on very, very bright because it'll just glow you right out. But here in person, I can see a faint shadow. That's the background color. And then it gets a little bit darker right there. That is the dark pink, right? It extends beyond that cutting line or that sewing line. So let's go sew this one. Now that might not seem like a big deal using the light pad for that, but when you're doing lots of clues, like last week we had 48 pieces, pre-folding the lines on 48 units takes a little bit of time, so quickly checking with your light pad speeds up the process quite a bit. So there is that seam there. And just so you can see, this is what the unit's going to look like from the right side if you're looking down. Like if placing that middle E fabric is a little confusing, when you bring it to the sewing machine, it's going to look really crazy, right? And you're going to say, is that right? That doesn't look right, but that's right. That's what it's going to look like. So let's flip over this paper foundation. And let's trim away this extra fabric. Using my paper rotary cutter. That is dull. All right, now, there we go. And let's flip that over and add a little bit of glue right in position number 3. And we're flipping over that fabric there. I'm going to fingernail press that seam. Just work that seam right on over and finger press that glue right into fabric number 3. So next up is position number 4 using the F template, which is our background. So we're going to come over here and I'm going to lift this up just a little bit. Now our long side of this triangle is going diagonal again with the long side up against this fabric here. So it'll be placed just like this, right? Long side of your triangle facing the dark pink fabric. And then we're going to flip that right side facing down. Now I'm just going to double check that, which is going to be a little bit more difficult because you have the dark pink fabric first, right? And you don't really want your light fabric to be sticking out past that, right? That would be too far. But I'm just going to take a quick look just like this and I can gauge it. That fabric is extending beyond that cutting or the sewing line. I want to keep calling it a cutting line today. So we're going to bring that over. That is so bright. There we go. Do you ever just have weeks with lots of different small little technical difficulties? Let's flip over the paper foundation and you're going to have some sewing lines through that paper right there. See that right there? I'm just going to tug on the paper just a little bit. It is going to rip just a little bit right there. That's okay. We're going to fold that back. And we're going to trim off. You know what? I'm going to eyeball it. Because this little tiny blade does not seem to be want to reach beyond the thickness of that outer quarter. So I'm going to eyeball it. We're going to flip over the paper, add a little bit of glue to position number 4, and flip over that 4th fabric. We're pressing. And for this unit we have one more piece to add. That's using the D template, which is our dark brown this week. It is situated just like that. We're going to flip it over with the right side facing down and bringing that over. Even with a light pad, this one's going to be a little bit trickier to see. So I'm going to eyeball it, okay? See that brown fabric? See the sewing line? See how it just does go over? There we go. We're going to come back here. We're going to flip over this paper one more time. Again, you're going to have a sewing line right through the corner of it. I just stick my finger there and just slightly tug on that paper. It's going to rip just a little bit, but it allows you to fold back on that line. And for today's video, I'm going to eyeball it. See that? I'm pretty good at eyeballing about 1/4 inch. And then a tad bit of glue right in that 5th position. And we're finger pressing. Just like that. So now we're done with the light pad. Now our unit, or my unit, looks a little haywire, doesn't it? Do you want to know the beauty about foundation paper piecing? Is even though it looks so crazy right this second, wait until I trim this up, right? It looks crazy now, but watch this. We're going to come right over here. Let me switch this camera. We're going to bring this here. I'm going to bring over my Creative Grids ruler. We're going to flip this so that the foundation is facing up, right? And like always, we're matching that inside solid line to the 1/4 inch line on our ruler. And you know what? Before I even try this, let me go grab my right rotary cutter for this job. Okay, I got it. Sometimes I make myself just suffer these little simple things when I could just take a second and go get the right tool. Okay, so I'm lined up right on the line with my 1/4 inch line of my ruler, and we're trimming. Now see how simple that was, Lisa? I could have been cutting like that all along. You're going to trim all 4 sides of all 12 units. I will probably approach this clue just like I did last week's clue, and that's by chain piecing or working in batches, right? Chain piecing in batches helped me get through clue number 3 so much quicker, I feel like, instead of doing one at a time individually. Alright, so there is my unit all squared up. Now watch this magic. Ta-da! See how perfect that is lined up? Now I just want to address this because there was a comment on the Creative Crew. Clue before last where we had a flying geese unit, and the tip of the triangle was not hidden by this seam right there. So see that? Usually you don't see that little tip of the triangle, just like you don't see it over here, right? That is because of the order in which I'm adding my pieces. We're starting at one side and working to the other. If you started in this triangle in the middle and worked your way out, doing piece 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, both tips of that inside triangle would be hidden in that seam, right? This is showing because we've started, this is piece number 1 right here, okay? Even with that little tip right there, guess what? That is our seam allowance. So when we piece this piece to another piece down the road, that little tip of the triangle is going to be in the seam allowance, and we are coming right up to the tips of our background star right there. See that? So if you see this little tip right there of that inside triangle and that's worrying you, you're fine. Normally in a flying geese unit you don't see that, right? It's all good, you're fine. But guess what? I have exactly the 1/4 inch for my seam allowances due to the nature of paper piecing and it being perfect. I love that. So that's what our unit looks like. Again, we're making 12 of these. There's my first one. I only have 11 more to do. Don't you think Betty's trick with stapling your foundations and only cutting out a few versus many was brilliant? I love that. Thank you, Betty, for sharing that with everybody. If you have other tips that you think would be really helpful, share them on the Creative Crew with everybody. And yeah, that is clue number 4. I feel like at this stage, going through the other previous clues, you've had a good little bit of practice and you should breeze right through this clue, right? Okay, everybody, if you're still here, I have a little announcement for you. You saw the little thing I put on the screen, right? My good friend Valeria. You might know Valeria. Valeria's been watching along and she's been part of our chats for a couple of years now. And she sent me a message a while back. She said, Lisa, I'm going through my fabric stash. I have more than I know what to do with, and I want to send you some to do some giveaways on your channel. And I was like, oh, Valeria. I always feel bad taking fabric. It's just so generous. And we went back and forth, and she's like, seriously, I insist you take some and give some away on your channel. I was like, okay. So she sent me some. And we're going to do some giveaways. But I wanted to kind of keep it on the down low because I feel like it's so generous that I just want the people who regularly watch my channel to sort of benefit from these giveaways. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like when you do a giveaway on a big platform like YouTube or Facebook, sometimes the word gets out and then you are flooded with people who are only there for the giveaway and not so much for the community or for the content that you're hosting with, right? And so I really feel like these giveaways that I'm going to be randomly doing with several different things that she has sent me through the year, okay? Just randomly here and there, I'm going to be doing a giveaway with these things that she sent. But I want to keep it on the down low. These are for my regular viewers and my new subscribers who are coming along. Please feel free to join in. I'm just saying I don't want to be a giveaway video that attracts lots of views just for the sake of getting lots of views. I feel like it took me a long time to say that. Let's take a look at what Valeria sent. It's been sitting right here. Ta-da! This is what we're giving away. So I'm going to pull up on the screen how to enter the giveaway for this. Okay? There we go. How to enter the giveaway. After the premiere is over, right? All of my clues for Sundae Stars are going to premiere on Friday at noon. And many of you are watching along with me and chatting with me right now in the live. Hello, everybody. Just letting you know, if you're chatting in the live chat comments do not count. So you have to come back when the video is over and leave a comment down in the comment section. Okay? So don't forget to do that. All right? So after the premiere is over, come back to this video, clue number 4, and leave a comment in the regular comment section. Right? Not in the live comment where I'm talking to you right now. Leave the comment, I love hearts. That just lets me know that you watched all the way to the end and you made a special effort to comment down below, right? Comments during the live chat cannot be entered into the drawing. So next week, what I'm going to do in clue number 5 is pull up the comment picker right on the screen. I'm going to pull up this video that you're watching right now and plug it in, and it's going to go through all the comments of clue number 4's videos. Clue number 4 video. And it's going to pick a comment from this video here that you're watching right now. And it's all going to be on the screen so you can see who won, like in real time, right? And then the winner, the person that it chooses next week needs to email me their address at lisacapeandquilts@gmail.com. Let's take a close look at what this is, okay? Let's come down to the pressing board. So, the first thing that Valeria sent is Happy Hearts by Nancy McKenzie. It's 40 karat crystals by Wilmington Prints. So it's a whole bunch of hearts, right? Isn't that awesome? It's kind of like a jelly roll, except it's not a roll. It's kind of out flat, right? 40 2.5 by 44 inch strips of Wilmington Prints. They are 100% cotton, and I'm looking at them here. It does not look like they have a pinked edge, which is awesome. I kind of like it when it has a straight edge, right? And so you have 40 2.5 by 44 inch strips. Lots of stuff you could do with this. One of my good friends sent me, I'm printing some pictures for her of her granddaughter for a project she's doing. And one of the pictures was her granddaughter making a jelly roll rug. And that rug, she sent me that picture, and that's all I've been able to think about. Like, I really want to make one. This would make a really awesome jelly roll rug. Have you seen those? This is what we're giving away this week. The drawing will be in clue number 5 at the end of that video. So make sure you watch next week to see if you win. Okay? Isn't that awesome? Thank you so much, Valeria. Again, I'm always humbled by everyone's generosity, and this is amazing. You should see a lot of the other stuff that she sent as well. And yeah, periodically, spontaneously, without advanced notice, I'm going to be doing giveaways. And again, it's really for my subscribers who have been following along, for my new subscribers who are just joining us, regularly watching, right? I'm not announcing these giveaways out publicly so that we have lots and lots of new people come join us. Of course, always new people are welcome, but I just don't want people here just because we're doing a giveaway. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that they're interested in the comment, and more importantly, that they're interested in the community and joining in on, you know, the live chats during the premiere, joining creative crew, you know, us getting to know one another, not just every once in a while you drop by when we're doing something for free, like a giveaway. I hope that that does not offend somebody. If that has hurt anybody's feelings, I am very, very sorry. But sometimes I just feel like, you know, let's do something for the people who are always here. And so, there you go. Thank you again so much, Valeria. Again, I hope that I haven't offended anybody, especially if you're brand new. I'm glad you're here. I hope you subscribe and you follow along. And again, even if you're not making this quilt, follow along. We have a really awesome community here. So many helpful people. And we really want to get to know you. And a lot of the time during the premiere, we're not even talking about what I'm doing here in the video. We're just checking up on each other, seeing how everybody's doing. We have people from all over the world during the premiere and the live chat, and it's just so great to hang out with everybody. I feel like I've been rambling. You ready to just get busy with clue number 4? I'm going to take a little bit of a little video, or maybe some pictures of my chicken babies, who I feel like are chicken toddlers now. They're about 4 times bigger than the last time I shared them. If you're interested in the chicken update, I'm going to post that here now. And for many of you, you're like, who cares, Lisa, about your chickens? And I get it. I totally get it, and it's okay. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll be looking out for your pictures over on Creative Crew. And until I see you next week, stay safe, everybody. Have fun sewing. Bye. You said that one's Titan?
Yeah, this is Titan. He loves being held. He doesn't like, see, he doesn't want to get off my arm. And this one, this is Hugh. And this is Mungus. Hugh Mungus. Here's baby Sharon. There's baby Sharon.
Look, baby Sharon.
Whoops.
Oh, baby Sharon, where'd you go?
Come back. Come back. Here we go.
Woo. Oh, baby Sharon. Baby Sharon is camera shy.
Baby, yes, she is. This is Meg.
Little Meg.
Yeah. Oh. Can you tell they love their daddy? Let's see here.
They really want to go outside, but it's supposed to
cold.
rain and it's really chilly outside today, so no outside time today.
Let's see here. Who else we got? We have Flo. Where is Flo? Here is she. Here she is. Come here, girl. Come here, Flo. Isn't she pretty?
She is pretty.
Come on, girl. Back down you go.
They just grow up so fast.
Yeah. These guys are...
And this has been our life for the last 2 weeks. They have really, what would you say, like...
That was really close to my eye.
They're like 4 times bigger.
Yeah, at
almost
least.
5 times bigger
Yeah.
than what they were when they hatched.
At least. I know they were when they were in this bin right here.
Oh no, Mighty Hunter.
Uh-oh. The cat coming. No. No, boy.
He just wants to
He
see
will
the
get a
baby
chicken
chickens.
Get back in there, girl. All right.
All right. So there's our baby chicken update. They're little toddlers. Maybe we'll show you next week so you can just see how fast they grow. Bye, everybody.